Hey people! Why does that look so bad? Okay, never mind. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 2025 beginning of the year book tag. I've seen Larry Reed's do this video, and then I've seen what Emmy's reading, or actually I don't know what her actual YouTube channel is, but I saw both of them do it. I believe Larry made up the tag. It is Emmy Rosam, or Rosam? I'm not sure actually. I'm going to be doing the beginning of the year book tag created by Larry, and I believe there's 19 questions, and we're just going to hop into it now. So the first book the first question is, how many books are you planning on reading in 2025? And I think this is a really good question. I mean, we always talk about it. I think I maybe mentioned this in my end of the year wrap up of 2024 during my Bookmas videos. But the reading goal that I set was 100 books. I read 114 books in 2024, and I've read, I believe, over 100 books since 2021 was the first year, I'm pretty sure. 2020, I think I read 60 books, and then every year since then I've read 100. And I think I'm currently at 5 or 6 books read, like when I'm filming this, which is the 21st of January. Yeah, so I feel like 100 is pretty reasonable. I don't know if this is a question on here, but a goal within that is I would really love to get 70% of my TBR, physical TBR, read, which this bookshelf behind me is actually every single book on there is on my physical TBR, which I know that's insane. There's a lot of books on there. I think there's about 107-ish books the last time I counted, and that's a lot. I create a list of 25 books I want to absolutely read. So my main goal is finish that 25 list, but if possible, I would love to read 70% of my physical TBR. I'm on a book buying ban this year. Fingers crossed it goes well, except for some pre-orders. I do have some pre-orders coming, but since they were already purchased, like I'd already pre-ordered them, they don't count. Other than that, I canceled my Kindle Unlimited subscription. I'm gonna stop trying to read Drain Miney fan fiction, although I currently am reading one. Anyway, okay, I'm like rambling, but anyway, the answer to this question is 100 with a focus on my physical TBR, because like I said, I really want to narrow that down. I feel like I should not have a full shelf of books that I need to read. Like I would really just like a TBR cart or something. Okay. Anyways, a book I'm likely to reread this year, since I am focusing on finishing my physical TBR, I'm not trying to reread books, but there are a couple books that I put back onto my shelf because I've read the first book of the series, but I haven't continued it, and so I kind of want to revamp. So I think there's a couple options for this, and that will be either the Magnolia Park series or a Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I feel like both of those I'm probably gonna reread this year. I feel like I'm definitely gonna read a Good Girl's Guide to Murder. But for that series by, actually, who is that by? Okay, I thought it was by Holly Jackson, but for some reason that sounded wrong. But I read the first novel in that series. I thought it was super good. I think I rated it like 4 or 5 stars, loved it. I've watched a little bit of the show, and I was like, I think I need to reread it and then read the rest of the series like subsequently. I need to read the series all together, and so that's a series I'm definitely going to reread this year, or a book I'm going to reread. And then for the Magnolia Parks universe or series, I read the first 3 books, and then I started, like I was like 40% through the 4th book, but then I kind of soft DNF'd it because I just wasn't picking it up. And so I do have the 5 novels on my shelf. The one thing where I'm like, I might not reread those books is I believe there's 2 more books coming out for the Daisy Hates portion of that series, and I'm almost like, if I'm gonna reread the series, I want all of the books so I can just do a straight like week of reading Magnolia Parks. But anyway, that's a really long answer to that question. The next question is priority read or book on your TBR, and like I said, I did make a TBR for 2025. It's called 25 in 2025 if you want to go watch it, but those are definitely my priority reads. And I think from that, I don't really have like a specific book or books that are really priority from that list. They're all pretty priority. I think currently one that's pretty high on my priority is A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. just because I really like want to read the story. I've read 2 of his novellas and I thought they were amazing. I've been hearing so much about Beartown and I'm like, I want to read it so bad, but I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna do it because we're reading our physical TBR this year. But anyway, that's part of the reason. But the other reason is it's my friend Allison's favorite book, and she also lent me the book, and so I want to get her that copy back. I like kind of started it, but not really. Like I just read a chapter, and I'm like I want to read that by the end of January actually, so I can get that to her. But I think that's maybe like my highest priority, and also one day because my friend Major gave that book to me like so long ago and it's one of her favorite books and I'm actually 75% the way through, so I'm almost done with it. But just because she loves it so much, I really want to give it a read and take it off the TBR. Next question is author I won't be reading again. I just went through my Goodreads like wrap up for last year, and really I don't know if there's an author that I'm not going to be reading again because I didn't like their writing so much. Like some of these are just because like I don't know any other books by them, so I'm probably not going to pick them up. Like I don't really have like a really strong answer for this, I guess, which is kind of annoying because I'm like, well, I'm probably never going to read Christine de Pizan again, the one who wrote like several like French writings on like early feminism and stuff like that. I read that for a class. I'm probably not going to read that again. Like I can answer that, but I feel like that's not really getting at the question. One author I read in 2024, it was the only book I read by them, and it was because I was annotating it for my sister as a birthday gift last January, was Colleen Hoover. I read Ugly Love, and I'm like, I'm probably not gonna read anything from her again. I'm like, maybe I'll reread a book that I have on my shelf already, but I'm like, I'm probably not gonna read her again. And also with all the like lawsuit stuff going on surrounding the film, that's just really interesting. Reason in my brain I did not connect the two together, and I'm like, oh, that's currently happening. That's like my cheater's way out of that question, so sorry. Something new you want to read, and it is a genre, a trope, or something like that. Oh, this is such a hard question. I really don't know. The thing that's coming to mind is literary fiction. I had a stunt in, I don't even know what year it was. Maybe it was like 2022. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I used to read a lot more literary fiction, or even like mystery and thriller, like those 2 categories, I guess. Or I mean, technically it's 3 genres, but I have not read them like consecutively or consistently in so long, and so I think I'd really like to jump back on that train this year. I have a lot of thrillers that I want to read, and I'm planning on doing some sort of reading vlog where I just read like scary horror books or something like that. And then I'm also thinking of, I have, oh my gosh, what is the Nightingale? The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I've read Firefly Lane by her, and it was amazing. I'm pretty sure I rated it 5 stars, but I know The Nightingale is really emotional. It's literary fiction / historical fiction. It's historical fiction technically, but I'm like, I kind of want to dive into that. I love my fantasy. I love my romance, but I want to start like reaching out a little bit, especially now that school is done. I'm not reading like classics or like text that is outside of that realm, so I'm needing to step out of my boundary that I've created for myself. So yeah, that's what I'm wanting. Trope wise, I'm not sure if there's any tropes that I'm necessarily that interested in. I will say I kind of want to read a Why Choose, just because I've heard a lot about that recently, and I'm like, I really don't have experience with that type of novel. The only book that I'm thinking about it was like a little bit different because it was reverse harem, and so that was 4 guys and 1 girl versus 2 guys and 1 girl, or I guess 2 girls 1 guy, or however you want to situate that. But I feel like that moment that I had just there was like Rihanna when she was like, anybody, like women, men, non-binary people, like anyway.
Some boxer briefs that both men and women and non-binary people of all gender appropriations and the pronouns, everyone is included.
Anyway, it's a why choose. You guys know what a why choose is. Or maybe you don't. I don't know. Like, why would you choose between the two? Like, Bella, she could have had Jacob and Edward. Like, not like super crazy about that. Like, it's not like, that's not like a huge priority. Like, I'm dying to read something like that. But if I were to try a new trope, I think I'd like to read that to see what the hype is all about. Next question is, what's a popular book you want to read? Well, I can go ahead and say The Nightingale. I know I already said that, but I'd really, really love to read that by Kristen Hanna. I just feel like it has so many good reviews, and I definitely want to read that. Another book I'd really like to read is Lessons in Chemistry. I was actually able to meet Bonnie Garmis here in Lawrence, and she signed my book, and she was just so awesome. And so I really want to read that one. I really want to read that because yeah, I've heard so many good things about it, and then after I read it, I really want to watch the show. So that's a popular, or those are two popular books that I'd like to read this year. Next question is most anticipated 2025 release, and I think I have to say the book that is coming out today, which is Onyx Storm, or it's already come out. My shipment got delayed till Thursday, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. But I'm very excited about that. I do feel like I kind of need a refresher on the other two books, but I'm like, I don't really want to reread them so I can read the third one. So I think I'm just gonna go into it, and fingers crossed it'll be fine. I think I remember enough about it to where I'll be good, but that is like really exciting. And then of course Emily Henry's new release is really high on my anticipated reads. This is like, will I be buying this book even though technically I'm on a buying ban? Probably. I only buy her books in paperback, so I actually won't be buying it, but I will be reading it, is what I'm trying to say. I will probably be buying Funny Story because it'll probably come out in paperback this year. So anyway, Sunrise on the Reaping, is that what it's called? Yeah. Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I love this series. I love Suzanne Collins. She's phenomenal. Immediately I will be purchasing this. I will be seeing the movie, even though, does the movie come out in 2026 actually? I think it does. Then another author that I'm just like, I will read whatever you put out, is Allie Hazelwood. She has Deep End coming out, which I believe this is a college swim team romance. I actually know nothing, but I know I'm gonna like it because I've liked everything else she's written. So that's also highly anticipated. Then another book that I recently read, or another two books I've read, is the Emily Wilde like series, I guess. I read I read the two of them like within 4 days, I think, and oh my gosh, it's so amazing. But the third and final book I believe is coming out, and that's called Compendium of Lost Tales, I believe. So super excited about this one. I adore it. I got the first book at Shakespeare's Company in Paris, France, and so I feel like it just kind of like holds even a more special place in my heart, because now I'm gonna think about Paris whenever I pick up that book, and that book is like so majestical, and it's actually set in London, or not London, but in England and Europe, and so super good. Love it so much. It does remind me of Draco and Hermione, and I'll stand on that. Those are like some of the most like significant ones that are coming up in my head, so we'll leave that there. Next question is a bookish goal for 2025, which we already kind of said this. Book buying ban, finish my physical TBR, or at least 70% of it. Read the 25 books I put in that one video that I did over Bookmas. I think those are kind of it, really. I think that's it. I could say like a bookish YouTube goal is I want to post more reading vlogs. I want to do at least one a month, so that's a goal for YouTube. So you should subscribe so you can watch those. This question is a book that's been on your TBR that you'll probably not read, and since my bookish goal is reading all the books on my TBR, I'm gonna say I'm gonna read all those books. I do think there are books that are gonna be hard to get to, like some canonical or classical literature, such as The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins something. It's right here. It's a canonical classical literature piece. I don't even know what it's about. I remember starting it in early college or late high school. I don't even remember at this point. And it's dense. It is a thick, dense book. So Question is a series you want to read this year, and I'm gonna reference my 25 in 2025 just because, I mean, I talk about the top 25 books I'm gonna read this year. And a series that I brought up in that video was the Rush trilogy. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I feel like I've heard no one talk about this. I don't know. I feel like I picked up the first book randomly in 2022 when I went to Barnes & Noble with my dad, and then I went on Thrift Books and I purchased the rest of the trilogy, and it's called Rush, Fever, and Burn, and it's about 3 billionaires and it's their romance, and I just want to get it off my TBR if I'm being honest, because it's been on there since 2022. And so that's a series that I'm going to be reading this year. Next question is your auto buy authors for 2025. And I feel like this is, we kind of already answered this, but we have Emily Henry, Allie Hazelwood, and I feel like those are, honestly, I feel like those are my only two like automatic buy authors. I won't lie. Another automatic buy author, I cannot believe I'm revealing this, is, well, actually, I've done a reading vlog for every novel on my YouTube channel, so it's not like I'm revealing anything really, but it's Ruby Dixon. Anytime a special edition or a reprint of the Ice Planet Barbarian series comes out, I do immediately pre-order it. I have 2 coming this year. It's been releasing in sets of 2s, and so there will be 2 more Barbarian reading vlogs for this year, and I'm excited. One of them is actually coming next week on Tuesday, a week from today. I'll have that copy in hand. Is it the 20th or is it the 23rd? Now I'm getting confused. Anyway, one's coming this month and then one is coming in the summer, because usually they're about 6 months apart. But she's also an automatic buy. Next question is a book to show adaptation you're excited about this year. The only one I can think about is, I'm not sure if Bridgerton is coming out this year, but I am so excited. I read the entire Bridgerton series in 2024. I never thought I was going to read it, and then I did, and I loved it. And Benedict and Sophie's story was my favorite. It was my absolute favorite, and I'm just so excited. And I did like Francesca's story, and I'm sure we're gonna get that within the next season since it kind of introduced it in the last, and I'm sure I'm gonna like it. The book wasn't my favorite. A lot of people, Francesca's is their favorite, and for me it felt a little too transactional. That's all I'm gonna say, but ultimately it was really, really good, and I enjoyed it a lot. But ultimately, I'm really excited for Benedict and Sophie's season, and I love the cast that they chose. I think they're beautiful. I think they're gonna do it so good, and I'm excited. This one is a sequel you're anticipating. These are books I've already mentioned, but I'm really excited for Onyx Storm. I'm also really excited for the Emily Wilde 3rd book. What else? I'm like, I don't think I mean, whoa, okay, that was a lot of stuttering. I think those are the only 2, especially since I'm not buying books. Those are the only 2 that I'm gonna be buying this year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't buy any more books. I feel like those are probably the 2 most exciting sequels that are gonna be read this year. Next one is bookish things you're leaving in 2024. I'm actually not sure. Oh, actually, I do have something. I have been actually really good at this so far this year. Is I would really only like to be reading max 3 books. Really just 2, because one of those is like my morning journal devotion time, and then I'd like to be reading at most 2 other books. That way on my Goodreads, like aesthetically yes, but also for like mental clarity and like for the sake of the book, 3 books is like, I think it looks perfect, it feels perfect. So like I'm reading one day right now, I have a Draco Hermione fan fiction, and then I have my morning journal devotion, and I'm like, that is a perfect amount. Where sometimes I would have like 9 books that I was currently reading, and we are absolutely leaving that in 2024. We are not doing that here. We are sticking to one thing, we're finishing it, and we're moving on to the next. So I've stuck my ground for the past 21 days, and we will continue doing so. Next one is what to expect from my account, this little booktube YouTube channel that you stumbled upon. I also create vlogs, but whatever. On the book side, like I said, I would love to post one book reading vlog a month. I love that. I do monthly wrap-ups and monthly TBRs. I'd also like to do a few challenge, like 24-hour reading challenge, or I don't know, ChatGPT picks my reads for the week, or random things like that. So that's what you can expect on that side. And then of course there'll be little vlogs here and there, bookish related and also just life related.
Hello?
Hi.
Are you with anyone?
No, I'm filming a YouTube video though. Do you want to say hi?
Yeah. Hi, YouTube!
What's up? Hey guys, I'm back. My sister called me, clearly. We have a few more questions left, so let's get back into it. The third to last question is, how has your reading taste evolved from last year? And honestly, I feel like it's been the same. I feel like it's been the same, but I feel like maybe a little bit more so towards fantasy. Like, I think in 2023, I was reading a lot of romance. At least I'm telling myself I was reading a lot of romance. I feel like 2023 was also my transition to a lot of fantasy, so I feel like that might be kind of inaccurate. But I feel like 2024, fantasy was 100% the top runner as the most read genre. And so I feel like that's one way that it shifted. Other than that, I'm not sure if it shifted that much. I feel like I'm a pretty solid or like stable reader, so I don't have a good answer for that. The next one is really fun, and it is book creators who inspire me, and I have a lot of booktubers that inspire me. Some of my favorites are Sarah Caroli and Destiny Sidwell. I feel like they are like two staples for me who have just like really cemented booktube and book talk, things like that. And then one girl who I've been following before she started doing like a lot of book stuff was Rachel. Is her YouTube called Rachel Catherine? I don't know why I forgot her last name, but I've been watching her for years and I feel like that wasn't like her main thing, and it's not necessarily her main thing now, but it like kind of is. So definitely those three. Other booktubers that really inspire me is more recently I've been really enjoying Amy Dwa's booktube. You guys should go follow her. I think she just hit 1.1k, which is super exciting, and she just seems super nice. She's based in London, and yeah, I just love her videos. They're super creative and really love her. I also really like Heather McLary, love her. Larry Reads, of course. Who else? I know I have more. Like Amy Rosem, like I mentioned earlier. I like Hal Jones. I like Katie Whitrock. I don't know if that's how you say your last name, but I like you. I also like Lauren Sydney, Madison Kate. Taylor Tippett posts travel vlogs and also book vlogs, and I really like both of those. But I'm sure there's more. Alexa Ray. I love booktube. I follow a lot of booktubers, so a lot of people inspire me, and yeah. Last question is something you want to say to people wanting to start an account. And I feel like I don't have a lot of room to say this, but I know for me this is an outlet. It's a way to share books. It's a way to find people with similar thoughts and feelings, and also get like different feelings. And so if you're wanting to start a booktube channel, I would encourage you to do it, because for me it's been nothing but a positive experience in one way or another. So yeah, you should do it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I am so excited for 2025 and all the bookish goals that I have this year. I'm really excited for this YouTube channel. You guys are gonna get a lot of book videos, and you guys should, like I said, subscribe to make sure that you are following along. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace and love. Bye guys.